Hello, 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 this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to start up with hand-spun yarn. Okay, as you can see, for this month, for the month of February 2022, I have been hand-spinning. And first I carded the yarn. Then I hand spun the yarn, and I did tutorials, I made videos, and I shared it with you guys so you can see how it's done. This one I have hand spun. This is chunky yarn, and I wash these separately, and I did show you how to wash them as we go. So I washed them, and there's there's 4 more drying, 4 more hanks like this. These are huge hanks. They're between 150 to 200 gram of skeins of yarn, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This is the smallest, and I just love it, love it, love it. Okay, so this is chunky, and I'm going to show you. Here, I did this years ago when I started to learn to hand spun. This is thinner than this, just to show you the difference. Okay, this is Angora Rabbit as well. This is Angora Rabbit. As you can see, I did 2-ply, but this is chunky. For this project that I'm going to be knitting, I'm going to be knitting with I needed chunky yarn, so that's why I hand spun chunky yarn. So I'm going to start the collar. It's going to be a crew neck, and I do have several tutorials on how to knit top down cardigans, just to show you. So I'm going to start the collar with number 6, and then for the rest of the body I'm going to knit it with number 7. The reason I'm going to use smaller needles, even the yarn is chunky, because I want it to be thick. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, and I am going to start to cast on. Okay, for this method, I'm going to, because this is Angora Rabbit and it's hand spun, so this yarn is very precious. So I don't want to lose a tiny bit of this yarn. Okay, so I do have several tutorials on how to cast on. So this is what I'm going to start with. So, and I can weave this in later. So I'm going to start with this way, just like this. And I'm going to cast on. So this is going to be a large size. So this will fit small, medium, large size, up to large size. Okay, that's why I'm going to cast on total of 54 stitches, and I'm going to knit 1 knit, 1 purl, and I will show you how to do that. And then it's going to be a top down. So the fronts are going to be 10, 10, and the button area is going to be 5 stitches, and the body would be 5 stitches. For both sides, it's going to be the front, and don't forget the 1 stitch, the increases that we're going to be making, and the sleeve areas will be 7, 7, and the back will be 16. Okay, so total would be 54 stitches. This will fit up to large size. Okay, because I am going to be knitting with hand spun yarn, and again, this yarn is precious. Again, I'm focusing on that word. Okay, so this looks like this has broken, but that's okay. Nothing to worry about. So what we do is, you hold the yarn like this, because this is wool, right? Yeah, this is wool. I'm just going to spray just a little bit of liquid, just like this. And what you do is, you go like this, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you look, you go 1, 2, 3. See? Maybe one more. 1, 2. I don't want to felt it. Okay. The fiber will hold itself. And just twist it. If this happens, this is what you can do. Nothing to worry about. Okay, so I'm going to move these yarn because it's focusing on the background, and I don't want that when I'm taping. It's not focusing on my hand, so I'm going to move them. These took about 3 to 4 days to dry, so it does take time. And I still have 4 more hanging to dry, so if I don't have enough yarn, I will continue to spin more. So I won't worry about that, but I wanted to start knitting the cardigan, the coat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to knit just like this and pull this and put it back. I do have a tutorial on how to cast on, but I'll show it one more time. So I try to pull as loose as I can, just like this. So this is one of the methods that you can use when you do not want to waste yarn. Okay, and so I will do this 54 times, just like this. Just like this, loosely. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to start knitting. The first stitch I don't knit, so I slide that one. And the second stitch, what I'm going to do is I am going to knit, but what I'm going to do is, this is what I'm going to do. Just like this, knit one. Okay, so the second stitch is a purl stitch, but what I'm going to do is this one, I'm not going to knit like that. What I'm going to do is I am going to knit like this. I am going to put this, I did a tutorial on this one as well, but I will show it again. So I'm going to flip this and then put it back here and then knit this. This way, when I knit it, it will give a tight on the collar area, so it won't be loose. The next stitch is a purl stitch. Again, the knit stitch, I'm going to flip it like this and then put it back and knit it. Okay, again, the purl is a purl stitch. I knit the purl, and then when I come to the knit stitch, I put it underneath like this, and I grab it from here and I flip it. It gives me that tight, see, like a tubular, and it's super easy. I don't have to cast on different yarn to work this. So this is one of the methods that I like to work on, and this is how I'm going to start knitting the top down cardigan. Okay, so I will continue knitting like this, and I'm going to try to knit as loose as I can, but with a smaller needle, just to give you that look. And I will come back when I finish this row. Okay, so I'm at the end. I just wanted to show you how to finish it up if you get confused. So I did my purl, my knit, I flip this one just like this, and I knit that stitch. Oops. And I purl the last one. Okay, sometimes it just, okay. So, this is how it looks like. I know it doesn't look anything good, but that's okay. So here I'm going to knit, one purl. So the first stitch I'm not going to be knitting. Okay, so I'm going to knit about, I don't know, 11 to 12 rows like this. I will count 1 knit, 1 purl, just like this. Meanwhile, I put my markers on, so I put 10 and I put 1. So we'll be doing increases. So again, go to the I do have a playlist top down, so you can click it and you can look at the videos. I have several videos on how to knit, but this is for hand spun chunky yarn. See, I'm knitting loosely. I'm not knitting tight, but I am using smaller needles, so that will give a big difference, just to show you. Okay, this is Angora Rabbit again. Okay, so I'm just gonna knit, one purl for about 11 to 12 rows, and I will come back to show you, and then I will start knitting the body just like this, but I'm going to be changing it to a number 7 needles. See, I am not tightening it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to knit as loose as I can, but I am using smaller needles. See? And you won't see any holes at all. And after, I will wash this coat, and it will tighten up more, and then these Fluffy's hair will come out. See? Okay, I'll be right back. I will continue to knit 12 rows, and I'll be back. Okay, so I knit the length that I need for the collar. Now I'm going to be knitting the body part. And for the body part, I'm going to be making buttonholes. Just to point out, to do that, so this is the front. So I'm going to be making the buttonhole right here. Right here. So when I come to the other side, I will make the buttonhole. To do that, I am going to be knitting the button area, which is the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be knitting the double knitting method to give that thickness on the on the button band here. So I'm going to be not knitting the knit stitch and then knit the purl. So slide and knit the purl. So 2, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to be knitting 5 stitches for the body part. 3, 4, 5. Remember, I said 10 stitches is going to be for the front, 10, 10. So this is what I have knit. Now I'm going to do the increase here. Okay, where my marker is. Okay, so I'm going to make a stitch here. I'm going to make a knit 1 and then make a stitch here. So I did 1 increase for the front and 1 increase for the back. Okay, and I changed my knitting needle to a number 7. Okay, this is how it looks like. And then I'm going to knit 7 stitches, just like this. Until I come to my marker. 6, 7, and then I'm going to, oh, how many was it? Just counting. So I'm going to be making a stitch here, do my increase. So I'm going to make one here, knit this one, and then make another one. I'm going to move my marker a little bit further because it's too far. Okay, so I'll put my marker here. And that's how I know I'm going to be doing an increase. And I only do the increase on the front. Okay, and put this here. Just like this. See? It's super soft. Just love it, love it, love it. And I'm going to knit a total of 16 stitches. And then make an increase. Just like this. I'm not going to even count because I already counted and I put my marker just like this. Luxury yarn, handmade yarn. And because it's a chunky yarn, it looks like there's so much yarn in it, but because it's chunky, okay, I need to move my marker here. Okay. I'm just going to count again, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so I'm going to make my increase here. Right here. Going to knit this one. And then make an increase right here. Okay, and then I'm going to knit 7 stitches for the sleeve area. And then when I'm finishing, I make my increase. Okay, just like this. Okay, now I'm going to knit 5 stitches. Just checking 2, 4, and then 5. And then what I'm going to do is, remember I said I'm going to make the button hole right here. Okay, so I'm just looking. I'll just knit this one. And what I'll do is, I'm not going to knit this one. I will knit these 2 together. Okay, just like this. And I will knit this last one. Okay, so I got rid of the one, and when I'm on the back, I'm going to make a stitch. Okay. Just like this. Okay, so this was a knit. And then here, I made a stitch. I grabbed, so here's my buttonhole. Okay, and then I'm going to knit the purl and slide the knit. Because I'm doing the double knit method to give that nice thickness on the edge here, on the button band edge. So I have 5 stitches, and I'm just going to continue knitting. So I'm not going to do any increases on this one. I will just purl, and I will be back. So I made my first buttonhole just like this, and I will sew the button on the other side just to show. So the button will be like this. Okay, and I will continue knit and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to start doing the short rows to give the height to the back. So when you wear it, it will be comfortable, but I don't have enough yarn here. This is all I have. So what I need to do is I need to make these into balls. Okay, and so just to show you, this is how it will look like when you turn it this way. So I will continue knitting and I will come back to show it to you how it looks like so far. I have knit the short rows. As you can see, the back is higher compared to the front. Okay, so I'm just going to fold it and show how it looks like. So I will knit a couple of more rows. Here is the first buttonhole, and then I will make another buttonhole and then go from there. And this is how it looks like so far. Just gonna measure. So I will be knitting about 9 inches between, I would say 8.5 inches long, and then I will divide the body parts. Again, if you want to go into my playlist, you can find all the tutorials that I have provided on how to knit top down. But this is how you knit with hand-spun yarn, and try to knit as loose as you can, because we don't want to tighten it, right? And I am using smaller knitting needles, so this is number 7 again. And this is how it looks like so far. So soft. Just to show you. So the 5 stitches are knitting, double knitting method. So I don't knit 3, 5, and then I knit. So I will do my increases and I will divide the body parts just like this. So just loosely, because I am using smaller needles, just to show you. So soft. And I am using the second skein, and this is how it looks like, loosely. This because of the yarn being chunky, it's really hard to wind it on the yarn winder, because it's really chunky. So that's why I'm making a ball with my hands. I'm not using the yarn winder, just to point out, because it's it will be hard to wind it with the yarn winder. So I'm using the old-fashioned way to make them knittable. I don't know if that is a word or not, but yeah, maybe I created. And I do my increases until I have the length that I need on the 4 spots, just like this. So I hope you like this show on how to knit with the hand-spun yarn. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I try to reply. But other than that, really nice. See? See how strong the yarn is? Because it's hand spun, but it is very, you can hear it? It's very strong. If you pull it like this, nothing will happen to it. This is hand spun with natural, the rabbit's natural hair, fur, or whichever you like to call that. And again, these rabbits are plugged every 3 months, 10, I believe 100 days, because they need to be plugged, because there are new hair coming out of this underneath, so they need to be plugged. So these animals are not harmed. I get that question a lot. Like, I am not a rabbit breeder or a rabbit. I don't feed them. Like, I don't have any rabbits in my house. These I bought them with my own money, and I spin it. I spin the yarn, and I knit with the yarn. So I just wanted to share you that information. And yeah, I'm just knitting. It's really, really fun. Just like this. And if you're going to be washing this, I did do a demonstration on how to wash the yarn. So I would not agitate it, like you put it in a warm or not hot water, just warm, and then soak it in under the water, and don't agitate it because it will felt. It is wool. This is wool, so for that reason I wouldn't agitate it, and then, you know, soak it, and then dirt, the oil, or whichever, if it gets dirty, it will leave, it will separate to the water, and then you can just rinse it out and then lay it flat dry. And yeah, so I hope all this information is useful, and I have more information on my Etsy shop. I have on how to take care and look after your garments, and these will not shed at all. See, they will not shed because they've been hand spun, they've been washed, and it's really, really great. If you're watching this demonstration, I might do my live stream tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. It depends on how it goes. Usually I do it every month on the 27th, but I don't want to do it on a Sunday. I might pop and say hi. Tomorrow is a Saturday, so if you want to come and join me, you are welcome to come and join me. I do a live stream every month on the 27th, but this 27th is falling on a Sunday, so I might come. I just need to check how it works out tomorrow for me. So you guys take care. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to hit that notification button, so every time I post a video, you will be notified. And yeah, just knitting. See the fur? When you wash them out, these will more come from the garment, just to show the more come out, and you can brush it like this. See? And the more will come the more you use it. See? Okay, you can watch me until the until my memory card is finished. So take care, everybody. Sometimes it's I'm using circular needles. Sometimes it gets slippery, which I really like these needles. Everyone has their own preference to use bamboo needles. I like to use these stainless. They're very nice.